President Bush cannot allow oil from the North Slope of Alaska to come to the United States of America. Because if he did, the oil-producing countries of the world who signed on the dotted line in the days of Henry Kissinger would not be obligated to take a certain portion of everything that we give them in payment for oil and turn around and buy our national debt. And the pork in Washington, D.C., and the $8 trillion debt would collapse the American economy and the American dollar. Therefore, our administration today cannot afford to allow you to get the oil from Gull Island Pool, because if they did and brought it out of the ground at $3 a barrel and allowed American refineries to refine it, gasoline at the gas pump within 1 year's time could come down to $1.50 a gallon or less. But Bush and the others in Washington know it would collapse our economy if they did it, and they cannot tell you the truth. Somebody must buy our national debt. Many others are besides just the oil-producing countries, but they alone would cause our dollar to collapse. Mark my words. You will be paying $4 to $5 a gallon at the gas pump in the very near future. Why? You will be paying the national debt through the gas pump. You will be paying the third world countries' loans at the gas pump, taking it off of the table where your children need food, by a design plan which I knew about 25 years ago and begged the American people to listen. Have you ever wondered what happened to the 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence? 5 signers were captured by the British as traitors and tortured before they died. 12 had their homes ransacked and burned. 2 lost their sons in the Revolutionary Army. Another had 2 sons captured. 9 of the 56 fought and died from wounds and hardships of the Revolutionary War. They signed and they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. What kind of men were they? 24 were lawyers or jurists. 11 were merchants. 9 were farmers and large plantation owners, men of means, well-educated, but they signed the Declaration of Independence knowing full well that the penalty would be death if they were captured. Carter Baxter of Virginia, a wealthy planter and trader, saw his ship swept from the seas by the British Navy. He sold his home and properties to pay his debts and died in rags. Thomas McKean was so hounded by the British that he was forced to move his family almost constantly. He served in Congress without pay, and his family was kept in hiding. His possessions were taken from him, and poverty was his reward. Vandals and soldiers, or both, looted the properties of Ellery, Clymer, Hall, Walton, Gwinnett, Haywood, Rutledge, and Middleton. At the Battle of Yorktown, Thomas Nelson, Jr. noticed that the British General Cornwallis had taken over the Nelson home for his headquarters. The owner quietly urged George Washington to open fire. The home was destroyed and Nelson died bankrupt. Francis Lewis had his home and properties destroyed. The enemies jailed his wife and he died within a few months. John Hart was driven from his wife's bedside as she was dying. Their 13 children fled for their lives. His fields and grits mills were laid waste. For more than a year he wandered in forests and lived in caves, returning home to find his wife dead and his children vanished. Within a few weeks' time he died of exhaustion and a broken heart. Norris and Livingston suffered similar fates. Such were the stories and the sacrifices of the 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence. They were not wild-eyed, rabid-rousing ruffians. They were soft-spoken men of means and education. They had security, but they valued liberty more. Standing tall and straight and unwavering, they pledged for the support of this declaration with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. We mutually pledged to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor, and gave to you and my son here and me the privilege of a free land and to be an assembling tonight as free people.